I was 34 and needed a break. I thought staying in a small town in Oregon would help clear my head. I was a freelance writer looking for inspiration for my next book on local folklore. I found a rundown motel on the outskirts of town. It looked weathered but cozy enough, an old sign with peeling paint hanging out front. After settling in, I set up my laptop on the small desk by the window. At first, everything felt fine. The place had a strange charm. As I started typing, I heard an odd tapping sound coming from the room above. My fingers paused over the keyboard. I dismissed it as plumbing, maybe an old radiator or something settling. I tried to shake it off and focus on the tales I had gathered from the locals. Their stories were rich, tales of spirits, haunted woods. I thought they would make great chapters. As the night wore on, that tapping turned into a steady rhythm. It wouldn't let me concentrate. My heart started to race every time it echoed in my ears. Then the sound changed. It morphed into whispers. They felt almost like they were pleading for something. I jumped in my seat more than once, unsettled, glancing at the guest book. My eyes caught strange symbols others had drawn in the margins, odd sketches that made my skin prickle. When I spoke to locals at the diner, they shifted in their seats when I mentioned the motel. It was strange, their faces going pale. "You should be careful there," one man said, avoiding eye contact. They exchanged knowing looks. It made me question what I'd gotten myself into. One particular evening, a chill ran down my spine. The tapping was back, louder now. I swear I saw fleeting shadows moving in the corners of my vision. The air felt colder than it should have, and a cold sweat formed on my forehead. My heart pounded. I lay in bed, wanting to both hide beneath the covers and investigate the source of my fear. I stared at the ceiling, listening to those whispers grow louder. It felt like they were calling me. Then, one night, the tapping stopped. A deep silence filled the room. I felt something heavy pressing down on me. Suddenly, I heard a soft voice call my name. "Jake?" I sat up in bed, my heart racing. I turned on the light. The room was empty. My mind raced, trying to decide if I should hide or see what was happening. I stepped towards the door, feeling drawn to it. Then I heard footsteps in the hallway. Someone was out there. I opened the door slowly, holding my breath. It was dark, too quiet. Peering down the hallway, I saw nothing. I felt the temperature drop even more. A chill wrapped around me like ice. Maybe I shouldn't have come here after all. Where had all the whispers gone? What awaited me in the empty hall? As I stood in the doorway, my heart thumping loudly in my chest, a wave of cold air rushed past me, sending a shiver down my spine. I hesitated, torn between retreating to the safety of my room and stepping into the unknown. In the end, curiosity won out. I took a deep breath and stepped into the hallway, pushing the door wide open. The dim light from the motel's flickering bulbs barely illuminated the path ahead. I heard nothing except the soft creaking of the old buildings settling. My instincts screamed for me to go back, yet I found myself advancing, compelled by an unseen force. As I moved gingerly down the corridor, my eyes darted from left to right, searching for any sign of life. My mind raced with the warnings from the locals. What were they talking about? What waited for me? The floors groaned under my weight, echoing softly in the silence. Then I heard it again, the whispers. They were faint but graspable, floating through the air. "Help, help us." The voices were thin, layered with desperation. I froze, my skin prickling. It wasn't just my imagination, they were real. I followed the sound, half dragged by a mix of fear and intrigue. With renewed courage, I pressed forward. The whispers led me to a door at the end of the hall, one I had noticed before. Unlike the others, it was slightly ajar, an inviting crack of darkness. I pushed it gently, the door creaking open, to reveal a storage room cluttered with old furniture, dusty books, and cobwebs. I stepped inside, the chill deepening as I entered. As I scanned the room, my eyes landed on a small bookshelf tucked away in the corner. A glint of silver caught my attention, a tarnished mirror half buried beneath a stack of ancient tomes. I walked closer, reaching out to touch its surface. Goosebumps rose on my arms. That's when I saw it. In the reflection, there was a brief flicker of movement behind me. I turned quickly, but there was nothing. Just my own reflection staring back, wide-eyed and filled with dread. My breath quickened, realizing I was not alone anymore. I backed away slowly, the whispers intensifying. "Jake, help us," they echoed. Clearer now. My heart raced as I dashed out of the room, slamming the door behind me. I sprinted back down the hallway, my mind in a panic. I needed to get out, to figure out what was happening. But as I turned to escape, I felt a sudden resistance. A shadow shifted at the end of the hall, forming into a figure. It was vaguely human but distorted, its edges flickering like a faulty light. My breath hitched in my throat, a raw fear gripping me. "Who are you?" I called out, my voice shaky. The figure stepped forward, and the whispering grew louder. "You shouldn't have come here." As that realization sank in, the lights went out completely, engulfing me in darkness. I stumbled backward, frantically trying to find my way to the door, the cold whisper of the figure wrapping around me like a noose. I couldn't see anything. The darkness felt alive, pressing in on me from all sides. I turned, hoping to sprint back down the hole, but the figure had moved closer. I could feel its presence like a heavy weight in the air. Panic surged as I fumbled, desperately trying to claw my way toward the door I came through. "Help us." The whispers came again, sharper this time, jarring me. I stumbled over something on the ground, probably a discarded piece of furniture, and fell to my hands and knees. The chill of the floor seeped through my jeans as my breathing became ragged. Just then, a flicker of light illuminated the hallway briefly, enough for me to see the figure standing inches away. Its face was a blur, shifting and changing like smoke. My heart dropped. "Please," I managed to choke out. No response. The shadow seemed to lean in closer, the whispers growing into a deafening chorus. Suddenly, everything went silent. I held my breath, straining to hear something, anything. My eyes darted around, but there was nothing but a thick, oppressive black. Then I caught a hint of movement to my left. The shadows shifted again, morphing into more figures, their distorted outlines surrounding me. "Help us," they rasped in unison. I felt sweat trickle down the back of my neck. Fear pulsated through me. I had to get out, but the path was blocked. The only way out of this nightmare was through them. With a surge of determination, I scrambled to my feet. I pushed through the writhing shadows, shoving my shoulder into what felt like solid air. "Get away from me!" I shouted, my voice echoing. But the whispers didn't stop. The figures tightened their circle around me. "You can't leave," they chanted, their voices weaving into one another. I swung my arms, trying to dissipate the darkness, but it only clung tighter. In a split-second decision, I turned back toward the storage room. If I was going to escape, I needed a plan. I wasn't even sure what I was going to do, but I knew standing still meant being swallowed by whatever this was. I darted inside the room and grabbed the mirror, instinctively feeling its cool surface like a lifeline. I glanced into the glass, half expecting to see the figures reflected back. Instead, I saw myself, pale and wild-eyed. Then the surface shimmered, and I noticed something that made my blood run cold. Behind me in the reflection stood a figure, completely clear and unobstructed. It wasn't flickering anymore. Swallowing hard, I turned to confront it. The mirror showed reality in a way the dark couldn't hide. I could see the figure's features now, hollow eyes, a mouth twisted into a distorted grin. It was observing me, and I could finally feel the weight of its gaze. I stumbled back, my heart racing. "What do you want?" I yelled into the abyss. It didn't answer. Instead, the whispers grew louder, filling my ears like 1,000 screams. The shadows were closing in again. I needed to find a way out of this hell, and fast. But as I reached for the door behind me, the mirror flashed once more. My reflection smiled back at me, even though I wasn't smiling. I froze, realizing my escape wasn't just about finding a way out. I had to confront whatever this was, as twisted as it might be. Then the figures surged forward, merging into one solid mass. I knew I was out of time. I had to act. What choice would I make in that moment? The moment the figures merged, time seemed to stand still. Everything I had experienced in the last few minutes collided in my mind. My instincts screamed for me to run, but I felt rooted to the spot. The mirror's image haunted me, my own reflection grinning back like it held a secret I didn't know. The mass of figures lurched forward, and I gripped the mirror tighter. It felt right, like a shield against what was coming. "I won't let you take me!" I shouted, though my voice shook. The collective whispers twisted into a roar, drowning out my thoughts. As the darkness bore down on me, I remembered something from the stories I'd heard. Mirrors were said to be gateways. Maybe this was my chance to slip into the other side. Taking a deep breath, I turned the mirror toward the mass. The chill in the air intensified, making my breath visible. "If you want me," I yelled defiantly, "you'll have to take me through this." The figures hesitated, a ripple of uncertainty passing through them. I took a step back and launched the mirror into the darkness. It shattered against the floor, scattering shards like glimmering stars. Instantly, a blinding light shot out from the pieces, illuminating the corridor. I shielded my eyes and stumbled backward, but it didn't stop. The light consumed the shadows, pushing them away from me. "No!" they cried, their voices pulling away like water draining from a sink. The oppressive weight began to lift, and I felt lighter. Suddenly, I realized I was standing in front of the largest shard. In its reflection, I saw what triggered the chaos. There was a door, slightly ajar, revealing a sunlit room beyond. My heart raced with hope. If I could reach that door, I might escape this nightmare for good. Without hesitating, I charged toward the shard, keeping the shard's light trained on the mass of darkness behind me. I couldn't see how close they might be, but I could feel rage seething. "Don't let them pull you back," I yelled to myself as I sprinted toward the light. The corridor seemed to stretch infinitely, like a cruel trick of the shadows. The door came closer, but I felt the figures surge forward again, desperate to reclaim their prize. As the bright reflection filled my vision, I dove through the shard, my body feeling like rubber as I hurtled toward the light. Then it swallowed me, and in an instant, I was through. But instead of the sunlit room I had hoped for, I landed hard on a cold concrete floor. My heart sank as I looked around. I wasn't safe yet. I was in another dim room. The air was heavy with a different kind of dread, and I could hear the whispers from the other side fading behind me. I was not out of danger. I could feel it. But I had made a break for it, and I had to find a way to keep moving. "What now?" I whispered, barely containing the fear creeping back in. That's when I saw it, an object lying in the corner, half hidden in the shadows of this new room. My heart pounded as I approached, hoping to find something that could help. But when I picked it up, I gasped. It was a broken piece of the original mirror, its surface still shimmering faintly. The realization hit me like a punch. I might have escaped one darkness, but I had drawn its attention. And now, whatever I had unleashed would claw its way through into my reality. I had to make a choice. Keep the shard and face what was coming, or smash it and risk losing everything I had fought for. I stared at the shard, its edges sharp and jagged under the dim light. A part of me wanted to throw it away, to sever any connection to the darkness I thought I had escaped. But the other part seemed to understand its power, the very power that had helped me in that moment of desperation. Then I heard it, the faintest echo of whispers, slithering through the air like smoke. They were back. From the crack of the door I had failed to notice earlier, a flicker of shadow crept in. I dropped the shard, feeling the coldness of the concrete floor seep into my bones. My instincts screamed for me to run again. But where? I quickly looked around the room. There were no windows, just shelves filled with dust-covered jars and broken furniture. The door seemed like the only way out, but now there was a palpable sense of dread creeping through the crack. I gathered myself and took a few hesitant steps toward the door. I had to know what lay beyond it. I reached for the knob. It was ice cold against my palm. I hesitated and glanced back at the shard, still gleaming faintly, as if urging me to take it with me. The whispers intensified, wrapping around me like a tight cloak. "You can't hide," they seemed to say, taunting me. I took a deep breath and turned the knob, pushing the door open just a crack. Light flooded in, bright but stark. I could see a hallway stretching before me, lined with more doors, each one claiming its own secrets. The air felt thicker, pulling at me as if the house itself wanted to keep me inside. But I couldn't stay. I stepped out gingerly, peering down the corridor. It felt like the walls were watching me, closing in, as if waiting for me to make a wrong move. I forced myself to take a few steps forward. Shadows danced in the corners, every flicker sending my heart racing. Then I noticed something in the distance. Movement. A figure seemed to dart from one doorway to another, just out of the light. I felt a chill wash over me. "Is someone there?" I called out, the sound echoing back with an eerie laugh. Nothing answered, but I felt my pulse quicken. Was it more shadows, or was something alive in this place? I took another step, then froze. I was not alone. The whispers grew louder, converging on me as the chill deepened. I glanced back, but the door felt like a trap behind me. I turned back to the hallway. "Get it together," I muttered to myself. I needed to choose. I could chase after the figure, confront whatever lurked behind those doors, or I could try to find another way out of this maze, if there even was one. Then I remembered the shard, reminding me of the portal that had led me here. I had traded one darkness for another. As I weighed my options, the whispers twisted into a violent crescendo, pressing against my ears like 1,000 voices wanting to drown me out. Suddenly, a door slammed shut somewhere in the distance, rattling my resolve. I had to make a decision. Move forward to confront the unknown, or retreat and risk losing my only advantage. Time was running out, and I could feel the darkness closing in around me. I stepped into the hallway, feeling the air shift around me, thick with uncertainty. The movement I had seen lingered at the edges of my vision, teasing me. I took a deep breath and moved forward, drawn by an instinct I didn't quite understand. As I walked, the whispers grew softer but never disappeared. They seemed to pulsate with each step, as if the house itself was breathing around me. I glanced at the doors on either side. Each was closed, but I could feel the secrets waiting behind them. Discomfort crawled under my skin, urging me to keep going. Before I reached the end of the corridor, I saw it again, a fleeting shape darting in and out of the light. It wasn't just the shadows playing tricks on me, I was sure of it now. I started calling out, "Who's there? Show yourself!" My voice echoed, returning to me like a taunt. There was no answer. The fear began to settle in my chest, tightening like a vice. I felt foolish shouting into the darkness, but something compelled me to continue. I glanced back once more at the door I had just come through. It felt distant now, like a memory I couldn't reach. Just then, a door creaked open to my left. My heart thundered as I turned toward the sound. The room was dim but chaotic. The walls were covered with strange symbols, scratching at the edges of my mind. I stepped closer, straining to see more. I could make out a small table piled with unfamiliar items: bones, stones, and wax candles. As I approached, a sudden crash from the opposite end of the hallway jolted me. My pulse raced even more. I turned, scanning for the source of the noise, but only darkness greeted me. The hallway felt longer, and the shadows swirled as if they were alive. I could hear another set of whispers, low and hurried, as if something was being discussed right out of reach. "Stay," they urged, but I knew better. I needed to leave this place. Then I made the mistake of looking back at the room with the symbols. Somehow I was drawn to it. I stepped inside. The air was thick with the smell of something burning, a sweet, acrid scent that filled my lungs. My eyes landed on a faded journal lying open on the table. It seemed out of place, surrounded by the chaotic items, but something about it tugged at me. Before I could pick it up, laughter echoed again, piercing the silence. It was darker this time, mocking and sharp. Startled, I turned. The hallway appeared even more foreboding, shadows coiling tighter. Something was definitely there, lurking just beyond my sight. I felt a surge of desperation. I needed answers, but I also needed to get out. I grabbed the journal and pocketed it quickly. Turning back, I realized the door to the hallway was now partially closed, leaving only a sliver of light to escape. Without thinking, I rushed toward it, but as I got closer, a figure emerged from the darkness, blocking my path. My heart dropped into my stomach. "Where do you think you're going?" they asked, voice smooth and chilling. A cold sweat broke out on my brow as I realized I was trapped between the shadows and a figure that exuded an unsettling calm. In that stunned moment, I understood that I had to face whatever darkness this place held. I took a step back, adrenaline coursing through me. I would not let fear control me. And yet, I felt certain I had just crossed a line I could never uncross. The figure stepped into the weak light, revealing a face I couldn't quite make out. The air felt heavier, choking off any words that might have escaped my lips. "You've come to play, haven't you?" they said, a smile twisting their features in a way that made my skin crawl. I tried to back away, but my feet felt glued to the floor. The laughter from earlier echoed again, now mingling with a low, repetitive chant. "Stay, stay, stay." It was hypnotic, pulling at my mind. I could almost see the shadows waver, like they were alive and eager to embrace me. "Who are you?" I finally managed to ask, my voice trembling despite my efforts. "Names are funny things," the figure replied, tilting their head ever so slightly. "You can call me what you will, but it's what we share that truly matters." They waved a hand, and the air around us shifted with their motion, making me shiver. "Why don't you come closer? We can have some fun together." I felt my body involuntarily move a step forward, as if something invisible was guiding my actions. Panic shot through me. "No!" I shouted, exerting my will over the grip of whatever was trying to pull me in. The figure's smile widened. "That's the spirit." They stepped closer, and the shadows stretched out behind them, creeping towards me like hungry fingers. I stumbled back, heart racing, searching for an escape. "Let me go!" I cried out, frustration mixing with fear. "Ah, but you're already here, aren't you?" Their tone was almost playful, as if we were sharing a joke that I didn't understand. The shadows danced around us, and the temperature dropped. I felt a chill run down my spine. Then, a sudden crash rattled the walls, as if something had fallen from above. The figure's focus shifted, and for a brief moment, the haunting facade dropped. I saw a flash of something else, a flicker of concern, maybe? But just as quickly as it appeared, it was gone, replaced by a confused irritation. "What was that?" I asked, desperate for any distraction. "Curiosity can be dangerous, my friend," they replied, voice cold. "You might not like what you discover." I turned to make a break for it, the door still partially closed behind me. As I dashed back toward it, I felt the oppressive weight of the house closing in, the whispers growing louder, more insistent. "Stay," they beckoned. I pushed through the door, almost falling as I tumbled into the hallway. My heart pounded, the journal weighing heavily in my pocket. I could feel them watching me, feel their disappointment. "You can't escape this place," the figure called after me, their laughter fading into a sinister echo. With a burst of adrenaline, I sprinted down the hallway, where the shadows writhed against the walls, twisting and turning as if they were alive. I needed to reach the end, to find a way out before I became part of the darkness. Suddenly, I skidded to a halt. At the end of the corridor stood another door, its dark wood pulsing as if it held a heartbeat of its own. I hesitated, feeling the pull of curiosity again. My fingers twitched to grasp the handle, but the laughter from earlier surged in my ears. I knew that opening that door might lead to even darker truths. All I could think was, what awaited me behind it? I turned back, but there was only darkness. Whatever had stood there moments before was gone. I needed to decide quickly, or the shadows would consume me whole. I took a deep breath, heart racing, and released it slowly. I couldn't just stand there. The sense of urgency grew stronger. The laughter faded but lingered like a bad smell. I forced myself to take a step toward the door. It felt unnaturally inviting, or maybe it was just a trick of the shadows. I reached for the handle, its surface cold against my palm. Something inside me screamed to turn back, but curiosity nagged at me. With a deep inhale, I twisted the knob and pushed the door open. It creaked ominously, the sound echoing into the darkness beyond. The room I stepped into was unlike anything I had expected. It was lined with shelves filled with books and odd trinkets. A single dim light bulb swung from the ceiling, casting eerie shadows that danced along the walls. Dust motes floated in the air, illuminated by that weak glow. I could hardly breathe, the atmosphere thick and heavy. I took a cautious step inside, glancing around. "What is this place?" I muttered to myself. Each shelf seemed to tell a story, but I could only make out the spines of a few books. Titles like The Unseen and Whispers from the Beyond sent shivers down my spine. And then I saw it. An object placed carefully on a pedestal in the middle of the room. As I approached, my stomach twisted. It was a small, dark mirror, its surface rippling as if it were alive. I reached for it, instinctively drawn, but as my fingers brushed the cool glass, a thrill of electricity shot through me. Almost as if answering my touch, the mirror darkened further, its reflection warping unnaturally. In that moment, I gasped and pulled my hand back, heart pounding. I peered into it, hoping for a glimpse of my own face. Instead, images flickered behind the glass, faces twisted in agony, shadows crawling over them, whispers that seemed to tug at strands of my sanity. "No," I whispered, breaking eye contact. This was it. I was stepping too far into places I didn't belong. I recalled the figure's words. Curiosity can be dangerous. A noise startled me, a scraping sound from behind the shelves. My breath hitched as I spun around. "Who's there?" I called out, voice shaking. The weight of the shadows felt tangible now, like fingers reaching for me. "What did I tell you about being curious?" That voice again, smooth and taunting. I turned quickly to see the figure appearing once more, their face now partially illuminated. The malice in their smile dropped my stomach. "Let me leave!" I shouted, anger fueling my voice. "This isn't right!" The figure stepped closer, their movements silent, unearthingly graceful. "You're in my domain now, and you're playing a game whether you like it or not." I felt the walls closing in, panic bubbling within me. That chilling laughter returned, and I knew I had to act. I bolted for the door I came in, but just as I reached for the handle, it rattled violently, swinging shut with a loud slam. In a total panic, I turned back to face the figure, whose eyes gleamed with delight. "Are you ready for round 2? That's when I realized, in my desperate attempt to escape, I hadn't just stepped into a room. I had stepped deeper into their trap. I stumbled backward, heart hammering in my chest. My mind raced, desperately searching for a way out. The figure watched me with that same twisted smile. "What game?" I managed to stammer, voice barely above a whisper. The figure leaned closer, eyes glinting with a mixture of amusement and malice. "You'll see. But first, we need to set the rules." They gestured to the surrounding shelves, a sweeping motion that seemed to bring the darkness with them. I quickly scanned the room, looking for something, anything that might help me. The mirror still pulsed with that unsettling energy, but it felt like a siren call, begging me to look once more. I turned from it, ignoring the creeping temptation to engage further with that dark glass. "Why are you doing this?" I asked, keeping my eyes locked on the figure. "What do you want from me?" "Simple," the figure chuckled, a sound that was both melodic and bone-chilling. "I need a player, and you've proven quite interesting already." "Player? I'm not playing anything," I shouted, trying to summon all my anger to push the fear back. But deep down, I felt the weight of their intent settling like a stone in my stomach. The figure's expression didn't falter. "Oh, you already have. Every decision you make from now on will lead you deeper. The only choice you have is whether you wish to embrace it or run." Then, with a sudden flick of their wrist, the shelves began to shift, books cascading to the floor like fallen leaves. I gasped, knowing instinctively that the change wasn't random. It was an invitation or a warning. I needed to think. Glancing around, I spotted a door at the far end of the room, hidden behind some shelves. Hope ignited within me. With every ounce of courage, I made a break for it, pushing past the surreal chaos of tumbling books and strange objects. "Catch me if you can!" I yelled, adrenaline propelling me forward. My heart raced as I dashed toward the door, only to feel an icy grip wrap around my ankle, tugging me back. I stumbled, dread pooling in my chest. The figure stood still, a puppet master orchestrating everything around us. "You can't run from what you are now a part of," they said softly, each word dripping with insidious delight. I fought against the unseen force, pulling myself free with sheer will. For a heart-stopping moment, I thought I'd made it. But as I grasped the door handle, the weight of shadows around me intensified. A breath caught in my throat as I pushed down, praying it would open. And then, everything went dark. The sudden loss of light sent a chill racing through me. I felt disoriented, the sounds of the cluttered room fading to an eerie silence. I pressed my back against the door, trying to catch my breath. What just happened? I whispered into the void. Just then, I heard it, a faint whisper drifting in the darkness. "Welcome to your new reality." The words echoed ominously, sending a wave of dread crashing over me. I had no idea what lay ahead, but I felt the tension thickening around me. Whatever game the figure had in mind, I now had to face it head on. There was no turning back. As the darkness enveloped me, panic surged through my veins. In absolute silence, a suffocating sense of dread replaced the urgency I'd felt moments before. I took a deep breath, willed myself to find some courage amidst the chill, and tried to focus on the figure's words echoing in my mind. "Welcome to your new reality." With trembling hands, I reached out, my fingers brushing against the door I had just come through. Desperation clawed at me. I couldn't stay in this void. I had to escape whatever fate awaited. Tentatively, I pushed against the door one more time. At first, there was nothing. Then, the cold resistance yielded, and I stumbled forward into a dim light. This new room was starkly different from the chaos I had just felt. The pale light flickered from a bulb hanging above, gilding the space in an eerie glow. Empty jars lined the shelves, each filled with strange substances that shimmered unsettlingly. I could feel the weight of unseen eyes analyzing my every move. All those stories of spirits and dark forces flooded my mind. Were they watching me too? I hesitated only a moment before forcing myself to move, scanning for any sign of the figure or any other exit. Suddenly, the whispers returned, softer now, but more persistent. "Help us, help us." The voices tugged at my consciousness, pulling me toward a shadowed corner of the room. Against my better judgment, I approached the sound. That corner seemed to pull away from the light, swallowing every shred of comfort. Whatever was cloaked in that darkness felt familiar. It felt like the whispers and shadows from the motel, the haunting echoes chasing me. Then I noticed it. A warped mirror draped in sheets, lurking in the shadows like a forgotten relic. Swallowing hard, I yanked the sheet away, revealing the glimmering glass. My reflection stared back, but it was different. As I peered closer, other faces began to dance around the edges of the mirror, trapped souls frozen in silent agony. My heart raced, knowing instinctively that the depth of this mirror held secrets I was unprepared to endure. Without warning, I felt a rush of cold air, and a chilling realization washed over me. Was this place a continuation of the darkness, or was I truly grappling with another level in this twisted game? I glanced back at the door through which I had entered. Could I still escape? The whispers intensified, overlapping and growing more frantic. "Jake, help us!" A sense of urgency pulsed through me, a mix of fear and an inexplicable need to understand what I was doing here. Suddenly, the door behind me swung closed with a resounding thud, shaking the very foundation of my resolve. The laughter echoed again, a haunting melody blending with the whispers, and I found myself quickly glancing back at the mirror. The faces trapped within were morphing, expressing a feral urgency, as if their salvation hung in the balance. I could feel the figure lurking nearby, ready to pounce. I needed a plan, and fast. The shards of my previous encounter flickered in my mind. The mirror had been both a weapon and a doorway before. If it had drawn me in, could it be my escape? Summoning my resolve, I grasped the mirror's edges, channeling every ounce of courage I could muster. "If this is a game you seek, then let's play," I yelled, my voice cutting through the overwhelming fear as I drew it close to my chest. "I won't become part of your shadows." In that very instant, the atmosphere shifted. The room dimmed even further, the air thick with an electric anticipation. The whispers began to crescendo, swirling around me in a tornado of sound. "Stay with us," they cried. I pressed my forehead against the surface of the mirror, summoning whatever strength remained. "Show me," I shouted, willing it to reveal a truth beyond this nightmare. The glass warped and shimmered, casting an intricate web of reflections back at me, each one a glimpse into a haunted memory, a desperate soul begging for release. And then, in a burst of blinding light, the room exploded into brilliance. My heart raced as shadows were pushed back. But as the illumination engulfed me, I realized I was not free yet. This new light felt different, tinged with a burning intensity that made me feel raw and exposed. As it faded, I found myself standing in the cold room once more, but something had shifted. The mirror was gone. The oppressive weight of the air had lifted, but I wasn't alone. I turned slowly, an instinctive cold dread clawing at my gut. The figure was there, slightly clearer, and now its twisted smile seemed to hold something close, a connection forged in dark secrets. "Did you enjoy the game?" My heart sank. I wasn't sure where I had landed, but clearly I was still in a trap of my own design. I stepped back, ready to face the unknown once again. As uncertainty swept through me, the shadows flickered and danced along the walls, leaving the echoes of whispers lingering somewhere on the edge of reality. I had escaped the worst of it, at least for now, but the questions lingered. Was this all just a painful revelation of the darkness we carry within us, or a reminder of the places we ventured for answers? As I navigated this new reality, one thing was clear: the darkness would not let me go easily. I took a deep breath and steadied myself. No matter the path laid before me, there was one thing certain: I would fight for my freedom, even if the shadows wished to draw me back in. "Let's see how this game unfolds," I whispered into the heavy silence, prepared for whatever came next.